Hello everybody, welcome again. This is Elder Stacy Sanders. We're back with another video. We're back on blackdemographics.com for the African American community. And before we get into the video, I just would like to say that if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like and the subscribe button. And it helps with the algorithms, help them to push the video, the content to more people. If you're watching on Facebook, please follow my Facebook page and share the content with whomever you think may need to hear the information that we're sharing. If you are see my content on Twitter, please like, retweet, and follow my Twitter page. And if you're seeing my content on LinkedIn, please like it, please share it on your page to get the information out to as many people as is necessary. But we're back again on, and I also like to say before I get into it is I want to thank everybody who like and subscribe, follow and share, like and retweet and follow. I just want you to know that we really appreciate it. I do not want to let another message go by without me saying that I am both humble, grateful, and appreciative of your response to our channel and to our page. I really appreciate it. But I want everybody to know that it's very important for us to educate ourselves. Go to blackdemographics.com and look at the vital statistics for our community to keep yourself in the know. There's nothing wrong with educating yourself, preparing yourself for what may be coming ahead, whatever may be facing in life. But we just take a look today for a few minutes into African American employment. The black unemployment rate as of February 2022 was 6.6%. Although African Americans have an unemployment rate almost double that of the overall population, the black workforce is just as diverse as the rest of the population. But let's take a look here at this graph about African American employment, and this is from ages 25 to 64. You have the overall population in the United States on the right column. Left column is the black population broken down with men and then with women. And let's take a look at the numbers. I like something that Jay-Z said. Jay-Z said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. These are the numbers, and there are times where people will dispute the facts. You can go off of what you think, how you feel, what you believe. Those things means absolutely nothing. The numbers speak for themselves. This is the data that we have. This is the data that we go by. So what you think, how you feel doesn't mean much because we have numbers, and these numbers are telling the story. All right, from African Americans from age 25 to 64. In the United States of America, the first thing, the 66% of black men in this country is employed, all right, versus 79% of the overall population in the United States. We could use this number to be higher. I have been in communities, and I don't know if I travel a lot, but I've been in communities. I drive through cities and towns, and I do see a lot of African American men in some of the urban areas that I visited that does not seem to be employed. They seem to be doing a lot of hanging out. But if we can get 20% more of our African American men in the workforce, that would greatly and tremendously help out a lot. But let's compare that to the African American women. You have 70% of African American women in the workforce. So there are more African American women working than there are African American men. And this is a number that we have to turn around. And we can safely assume that we have 70% of African American women. Let's say there's a 4% difference, because perhaps maybe that 4% of African American women are those single mother households who have to work to take care of their families. And they do the best that they can at doing that. And if we have more men in the workforce, more of those men can be helping to take care of the families that they created. So we can just safely assume that. That's just my assumption. That's my opinion. You can take that and throw it in the trash can. But the numbers do say that there's 70% of African American women of working, opposed to 66% of African American men. Now let's look at the unemployment, not in the workforce, not in the workforce. 27% of African American men are out of the workforce, opposed to 17% of the overall population. So there's millions of more African American men that are out of the workforce than there is in the overall population. That's a number we need to bring this 27% of those men down, and we can assume that in this being in the Black community, where I know that I grew up I was in high school in the late 80s, early 90s, and that's when the movie, the New Jack City came out with the Nino Browns, the black version of Scarface, and young black men took a liking to starting to sell drugs, things of that nature, looking to identify with drugs and money and success and fame and wealth, and once it became criminalized and got out of jail, they had felonies on their records and made it much more difficult for them to find employment. But you have a lot of programs today where they're trying to give men second chances at finding employment. This number can come down if we can get more black men gainfully employed. There's a number of reasons why this number is high, but we have to work as a community to be able to turn this number around. All right, for the African American women, 25% of African American women are not in the workforce, and I would expect the numbers for women to be a little higher. Because if you're dealing with more of the traditional mindsets of people, and I'm more of a traditional thinker. I was raised up, my father taught me that it was my responsibility to take care of my family, and I have absolutely no problem with a wife not working. And but then you have more of the new age thinking today that says that they want two people in the workforce, the husband and the wife. They both want to work, they want to have a career, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I can understand if it's higher for women being out of the workforce opposed to men. We need to get this number here down, and if there's more women there, more men taking care of their families and their responsibilities, that means black men need to earn more money so that there's enough money to cover the entire family, where you don't need two incomes to take care of that. And there's some other numbers to kind of suggest that, because there's more men with blue collar jobs, and there's more African American women with white collar jobs or in management and things of that nature. So men may be making just a little bit less depending upon the trade that they may be in. But with that, 25% of African American women not in the workforce. Now in the overall, there's 28% overall of women in the population that's out of the workforce. Now in the service business that I do, water, fire, motor, asbestos, lead, paint, all that kind of stuff. So I'm in people's homes and businesses, and when I go into their homes, I can look at the more affluent Asians, white Americans, and the affluent Hispanics. You do see more. I tend to see more of the. I can see why this number is 28% of women in the overall population not in the workforce, because a lot of these women are homemakers. They're at home raising their children, and in the African American community, you have either a single mother working or a two-family household where they don't make enough off of one income, where the husband and the wife are out in the workforce working. So you see that difference there, and it does make the difference. In the last video that we shared, in the last video about black business in America and the white population, the white businesses generate $11.6 trillion. And with all of the combined wealth of the white businesses, they can give each working age white American $80,000 a year in salary, opposed to the Asian can give each working Asian $68,000, and then we had a complete and utter drop off with the Hispanic community coming in third. With the combined revenues of the Hispanic community, they can give each working age Hispanic just over $12,000 a year. And when you combine all of the black-owned businesses can give each working age African American only just over $4,000 a year. So in this nation, and we have been here much longer. The Hispanics can pay their Hispanic workers 3 times as much money as African American businesses can pay theirs, and then it's a complete runaway with Asians at $68,000 and white businesses at $80,000. So all the white businesses, if they just supported the white people in America, they will live a middle-class lifestyle. And you can see black businesses, if we were responsible to take care of all blacks in America, we can only give each working age African American just over $4,000 annually, and we all know you cannot live off of $4,000 a year. So there are some things that must take place in terms of us building a structure and a power base so that we can propel ourselves as a people forward. Okay? So, but there's overall in the women population in America, 69% of women are in the workforce. Okay, so, but those are the numbers there in African American employment. We need to do a lot better in getting our people in the workforce. Okay, in 2017, about 73% of black men aged 25 to 64 were in the labor force, including 66% who were employed, 6% who were unemployed, and 1% in the armed forces. This compares to the 83% of all men nationwide who are in the labor force. People who are not in the labor force are not looking for work for various reasons, including full-time, school, disabled, homemakers, incarceration, etc. Occupations of African Americans. But look at this, black women made the greatest strides. Recently, in 2017, 35% of employed black women have jobs in management, business, science, and the arts occupations. And that's up from 33% in 2011, compared to 24% of employed black men. As a matter of fact, 65% of working black women held white-collar occupations compared to 42% of black men. 36% of the employed black men hold blue-collar occupations compared to 9% of black women. And we're not going to go into the next statistics. I think we're going to end it there. This is a lot of information that tells you that black women do have more higher education degrees than men. But whether you have a white collar job, blue collar job, there are two. I always say there's 2 types of millionaires. You have the suit and tie millionaire, then you have the construction millionaire. And now whether you have a blue collar, what I mean by that is a blue collar or a white collar occupation, we need to become more gainfully employed. Number one, we need more African American people in the workforce, in the building the power base, so that we can build an infrastructure that will propel us, give us upward mobility instead of us being stagnant and continuing to fall by the wayside. There's a lot of things that need to be done, and I am not bringing in the external forces. I'm just saying that we as a community of people, we need to understand where we are, and we need to strategically plan to each one can reach one. We're trying to reach those individuals today. It is very, very important. Then again, I'm encouraging you, everyone, to go on blackdemographs.com. And I'm encouraging all black and brown Americans in 2030, please take the census. It is insanity. It is asinine. It is ludicrous. It is flat out stupid not to take the census. I don't know who started the rumor to tell African Americans not to participate in the census, because the census started over 2,000 years ago when Caesar forced them, made them, each one go back to his place of birth to be counted. The census, the federal government gives money and resources based upon the numbers they get from the census. Numbers do not lie. Our communities suffer if you don't take the census. There's no overall conspiracy. The census has been done. Oh, God knows it's been done forever. So please take the census. Stop listening to the conspiracy theories. This is why our communities are not getting the resources and the help that they need. And these numbers may improve if we would just take time to fill out those documents and those forms, so that everyone, all the numbers, all the people, we can be counted. Until next time, I appreciate you tuning in and listening. Please like, subscribe, share, retweet, and follow. Till next time, God bless you.